Hi, this is Brandon Curtis at Entpgathering, Science and Spirituality meeting with an Archangel Michael messages reading. I recently put out to you, fam, to the community post asking you which readings you are resonating with and you would like to see more of or consistently. So the top two choices were Archangel Michael messages and Psychic Investigations for specifically CHOSEN1s, Earth Angels, Divine Masc, Divine Femme. So I'm starting today with a Archangel Michael message and reading. And I have pulled one card as a theme for this reading from the Edgar Cayce's Angelic Messages deck. Edgar Cayce was a famous psychic named the Sleeping Prophet. And while many people came to him with physical problems, he was able to, from a distance or in person, he would go into a trance. He had a scribe next to him who would write down the messages, the channeled messages that came out while he was in a sleep-like trance. And he's done something like 14,000 readings in his lifetime while he was here with us on Earth. And a few of them, maybe 100 or so, he actually started channeling messages from Archangel Michael. That was his first angelic message that came through. He was a very devout Christian. He read his Bible every single day. And so I've shuffled, and the theme of this reading is taken from the Edgar Cayce Reading Library, number 1620-2. The basis of your philosophy are the questions you must answer yourself before your own guardian angel that forever stands before the face of the Creator. And going back to my comment to atheists and agnostics who I'm asking to, think of your angels as your higher self, for there really isn't, there's a fine line between your higher self and your guardian angels. We all have three: one that guides our soul's progress through this incarnation, one that guides our morality, and one that looks after our physical vessel. Here, for those of you who are into philosophy and maybe not into spirituality so much, there is a fine line between the two. So when you are delving into, ideologies like Stoicism, you might consider yourself an Epicurean, whatever philosophy. Maybe you're coming from an Eastern Buddhist philosophy. Know that when you are engaging questions to your higher self, that again, there's a fine line between your higher self and your three guardian angels. And in this reading, we're going to ask specifically Archangel Michael, who heads up all the archangels and the angels, what messages are to come through this basic theme. I'm using the Guardian Angels Messages Tarot deck along with the Angel Tarot deck. I'm going to start with this deck here. We'll pull 7, one for each chakra. And we'll begin with, of course, the root chakra. I'd like to call in Archangel Michael, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael to help ground the collective and ensure accurate messages that come in. I want to call in Isis, Anubis, Sekhmet, Sobek, Thoth, and Ma'at, along with Kali Ma and Kuan Yin. I would like to call in the collective spirit animals and totems. I would like to give a shout out to Mother Gaia and Sister Moon that cares for us, takes care of us through proper diet and spending time outside in the 4 elements on her beautiful body. And again, calling in Archangel Michael to protect the accuracy of this reading. All right. To ensure that all the messages are coming from the purest, brightest, whitest light of the universe. First card out in the root chakra, 7 of air, awareness, caution, and consequences. This is in the root chakra. The root chakra, the color red, and the element of earth is the foundation chakra of all the other chakras, the remaining 6. This is where fear, anxiety reside, and where we cultivate and build our foundations, think the Tower card, of our sense of security and safety. 7 of air is the moon in Aquarius. It is Aquarius season. And like the card reads, some of you might be, okay, I'm hearing that fine line. You're writing that fine line between awareness and feeling anxiety, awareness and fear. Because the 7 of air can go both ways, the 7 of swords, in other words. And because it's in the root chakra, and as I mentioned, this is where fear resides. Some of you might be struggling with anxiety and fear in the root chakra because it's all mental. Know that the devil can only get at us through our ego and through air energy, which are words, which are images, and then that usually triggers an emotion that we feel in our heart. Underneath the heart is the spleen on the left side of the body, and this is where fear and anxiety actually, I'm hearing, kind of emanates an energy, and it affects our heart chakra. So that's why we confuse, or it's so easy for the devil to plant images in us, or an image might come through our mind, or a word or an idea in an argument with somebody in the 3D. This is what triggers the spleen to act up and release that anxiety and that anger even, and that fear that affects your heart chakra. So know that the devil can only get at us, the devil and his minions can only get us through our head. So the message is, be cautious when you are on this philosophical journey of exploration and acquiring learning, because 7 of air is also pulling in information, awareness. Be cautious and know that some of the ideas are out there in philosophical constructs that you might be studying or considering. Know that not all of them are of the light. Not all of them are going to be true for you. So it's really important not to take on, practice discernment, right? And know through the practice of philosophizing with your higher self and your angels and spirit, know that this is increasing your awareness, because if a thought or an idea or philosophy does trigger something in your spleen, that would be an indication direct from spirit that it's not true. And there will be consequences should you take on that philosophy and allow it to continue to generate anxiety or fear. All right, in the sacral, which is the color orange and feminine water energy, it's the seat of our sacred sexuality and our creativity. We have 8 of air, so we go from 7 of air to 8 of air, self-doubt, confusion, and free will. A lot of air energy, so collective, this philosophizing is generating some anxiety, as it should, but know that it is a part of the process of developing your own discernment and gaining strength. 8 is a number of strength. 8 of swords, or air, self-doubt, confusion, free will, is the first step. This is Gemini energy of the mind, 3rd house energy. 7 of air would be Aquarius, 11th house energy. This is about the collective. So, you know, you're pulling in ideas out there in the world, and now going into the first step of an ego death process. And I'm just hearing that, you know, this is not a bad turn of events, actually. This is a natural part of the process, because you'll want to pull in those ideas that you are considering to develop your discernment, and eventually it should lead to, if it's a true philosophy that, you know, resonates with you and creates warmth and love and happiness in your heart space, that initial idea or philosophy that triggered anxiety or fear should soon dissipate, because you are considering it. Here, there is a self-doubt, there is confusion, but there's also free will. So it's yours to choose whether or not you incorporate this idea into your person. And just to show you, we have 7 of air here. A sleeping child. I'm hearing that's an inner child with an angel in the background. All right, in the solar plexus, masculine fire energy of Mars, Leo, and the color yellow, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Major Arcana, card number 10. 10 is a number of completion. Luck, progress, and change in the solar plexus. So, I foresee that you've jumped from 8 of swords directly to a 10, and it's a change. So, that's advice for you, or if you are in this 7, 8 of swords energy, that for many of you, or most of you, I'm hearing, know that you're very strong with your mind and working with the higher self. Again, I'm speaking to atheists and agnostics. You know what to cut out that doesn't belong, that doesn't ring true, that doesn't bring you a true enlightenment, which should always involve a state of, yes, free will and awareness, but also of the feeling of change that is felt as and known as progress. You must be very mentally adept and strong to willingly, with free will, walk into the 8 of air. So for most of you, I'm just highlighting this process and this reading for you as confirmation that most of you are very strong mentally. Smart cookies, I hear. In your heart space, we have the page of air. I love this because the page is holding the Ace of Swords. Truthful, analytical, and outspoken. And air is the element of the heart chakra. Color green. We have some green here, some white, which indicates purity and truthfulness. So more air energy, and yeah, it's I'm just hearing that's my sword from Archangel Michael. You've successfully stepped willingly, consciously, safely into the 8 of Swords, traveling from maybe a past hurt or deceptive action on the part of your own mind, or it could have been communication coming in from others who were trying to influence your mind. And you stepped into 8 of air energy to consider them and cut out what doesn't belong to you with your own free will, which created a change in your solar plexus. And I'm just hearing, you cut, if it was a group or an ideological argument that you were having with someone, a spouse, I'm hearing, a group of friends, church group, I'm hearing, a workplace environment. Yeah. Your own demons, I'm hearing. You've won here with the page of air in your heart space. So it's well protected, and that's beautiful. In your throat chakra, which works with the page of air, with the heart chakra, you have the page of fire. Awesome. So you are creative, excuse me, I got some spiritual burps going on here. Creative, enthusiastic, and motivated. Having gone through this process, fam, you have the page, or you have the Ace of Swords, truth, justice, clarity, with the Ace of Fire, which is amazing. Because it's air and fire are both masculine. And I think you've done battle, I'm hearing, with the masculine side of your brain. And here the page of fire is feminine, so there was a balance that occurred. And I'm hearing, this, you've replenished your sacral chakra, 8 of air, and come out with a page of fire, holding the Ace of Wands. Could be a new start in business. Maybe you're saying goodbye to a workplace environment, going solo, striking out on your own and starting a business. Or there was an elevation in your status at work. Certainly there's an elevation in the spiritual work that you've done. So yeah, many of you, I'm hearing, got a promotion in the spiritual world. Even those of you who consider yourself to be atheist or agnostic, it's your higher self congratulating you and rewarding the work that you did with the 7 of Swords and the 8 of Swords, rewarding you with the Page of Swords and now the Page of Fire. Awesome. In your third eye, which works here with the Wheel of Fortune, we have the 10 of air, ego, death, also another 10. So we have some synchronicity and confirmation that you went from 7, 8 of air, straight into You didn't have to go to 9 of Swords. And what the Wheel of Fortune showed you, is the progress you're making, and you jump straight to the 10 of Air, endings, recovery, and freedom. The progress that you made in this, the result is Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands, and freedom. And you've recovered. You didn't have to hit 9 of Swords, which is great. That's usually a high state of anxiety and fear, insomnia, bad dreams, or just walking through your 3D existence at work, for example, just on edge the whole time. You saw from 8 of Air energy, you saw that 9 of Air comes next, and then eventually 10 of Air. So with this Wheel of Fortune, which is Jupiter energy, expansion, higher mind, higher learning, a philosophy of religion, you foresaw the 10 of Air, which for me is an ego death and completion, endings, recovery, and freedom. So in the Crown, which works with the 8 of Air, you have the 5 of Air, mistakes, melodrama, and reassessment. Oh, lovely. We have a chessboard here. 5 is a number of the ego. 8 and 5 is 13 swords. That's the death card. And look how the angel is sort of giving side-eye to something. I think it's, this progress that you've made. She's looking this way to the root. Well, here. She's looking at the progress made from the root all the way to the crown. And there's a reassessment of this journey that you've just been on. And you're looking back at your mistakes and where you went wrong. You look back at the 7 of Air in the root chakra, the melodrama that was created in this argument with a group or with another person, or even with your own self, right? How many times can we, fall asleep in 7 of Air energy, as this child has done, and create melodrama for ourselves and not communicate with anybody else, because it's all egoic. It's all 5 of Air in the crown. Bottom of the deck, we have 7 of Fire, challenge, determination, and resistance. All right, let's pull cards from the Angel Tarot deck by Travis McHenry to go along with the 7 here. Channeled song is Hyper Real, featuring Kuchka by Flume. We pulled into the back road, shimmering this way forth, wearing out its course end. I could only dream about what is hidden, heard through its white noise. All seems too clear, let it wash over me. Don't disappear, visions are hyper real. Yeah, that state that you get when you're doing this work, fam, is just so hyper real. I'm also hearing the word hyper vigilant, which I use and kind of fancy myself as being, when used wisely, is a great tool. And I'm Archangel Michael's pulling me to his sword with the page of air energy in the heart space. Lots of swords here. Lots of swords. 4 of the 7 are swords. 4 is a number that serves as a foundation for things. So I'm hearing congratulations are in order because we have this Wheel of Fortune. We have 2 pages, which is sort of like the neophyte holding the Ace of Swords in this case and the Ace of Wands. Wands represent spirituality and intuition. All right, archangels and angels. What more information can you give us for the collective? Voices left behind, rising from the vapor mist. Can we stay a while? Voices left behind. Yeah, you've left the voices in your head behind, going through this process. To match the 7 of air in the root chakra, we have 6 of pentacles. Divine grace cures rage and pestilence, absolves the guilty. Aladia, this angel's name is, translated the favorable God. And it's a child. To match the child seen asleep on this bench of the 7 of air. 6 of pentacles is Taurus energy. 6 is a number of the torso, where the spleen and the heart reside. Because 5 is a number of the head, or the ego. Mental thought. So now there is an even grounded energy of exchange with you and your higher self. 6 of pentacles. To match the 8 of air, Hierophant, Taurus energy, major arcana. Haziel, angel Haziel, translated the merciful God. We've got Electric Feel by MGMT. All along the Western Front, people line up to receive. She got the power in her hand to shock you like you won't believe. Saw her in the Amazon with a voltage running through her skin, standing there with nothing on. She gonna teach me how to swim. Interesting. Yeah. The sacral chakra, feminine energy, water energy. 8 of air. You dove in to that chakra to really suss out like your fears, because again, if the root chakra, which serves as the foundation, is replete with a lot of fear, then it's going to affect all the other chakras, specifically the 2nd and the 3rd chakra. And if these 3 are out of line, one is overblown or not functioning well, you can't get into your torso, you can't get into your heart space. With this Hierophant energy, second time we see Taurus energy. Divine forgiveness, obtains friendship and favors of the great, secures promises. I think you made a promise to yourself when you enter this 8 of air energy that you would come out the better for it. Maybe you went in, asking for protection, which you obviously received here with the Hierophant. Hierophant card is my card that comes after the Emperor card, card number 4. And that's our masculine, wanting to control our 3D existence energy. But when we let go of that and tap into our feminine, there's a marriage between the masculine and feminine. And what that does is it grounds that Emperor energy. And then that Emperor is able to connect with God directly, connect with the higher source, higher power directly. It's like you have the Creator on speed dial. Awesome. All right, so to match the Wheel of Fortune in the solar plexus, card number 10, we have 5 of Wands. This Ha'aya is the name of the angel, God listening in concealment, politics and ambition, wins judgments and protects all those who seek the truth. Of course the Wheel of Fortune does that. Jupiter energy. 5 of Wands is Leo energy. Jupiter energy is Sagittarius energy. So I'm seeing, you got out of the egoic, fixed fire energy of Leo, or at least Jupiter helped you expand that fire and and it became mutable fire, which is a higher spiritual fire. And I love that, it says wins judgments and protects all those who seek the truth, politics and ambition in the solar plexus, because this is emperor energy, fire energy that we give off. You're protected because you were well grounded with 6 of Pentacles and the Hierophant before it. With the Archangel Michael's Ace of Swords, with the Page of Air, truthful, analytical, and outspoken, you have, interesting. I don't usually take these in reverse, but I'm going to, because that's how it came out. We have the High Priestess in reverse. Success, protection from magistrates. So we have the High Priestess and the Hierophant out, with the High Priestess interesting. What I'm hearing is High Priestess is moon energy, Neptunian energy, feminine. And with the Page of Air here, Archangel Michael's sword, you cut out from your heart space those emotions that were being triggered by the 7 and 8 of air. Again, thoughts, ideas, swords energy will trigger emotions. Emotions will then trigger more sword energy, air energy, and it can go back and forth, back and forth. You've cut out the emotions from your heart space. It doesn't mean that you're cold, because again, the heart chakra is about air energy. So, there was success when you did that, fam. Also the number 44 on this card. 44 or 444, 44,000, 144,000 of you. 44 is a number of archangels and angels. So they were with you the whole time, guiding you. You were well connected to a great spiritual fire that Jupiter was bringing in to you. And now the Page of Fire. Let's take a look of the throat chakra and this High Priestess in reverse with the Page of Air. We have strength. So Leo energy, major arcana, Hakamiya is the name of this angel, translated the raising God. Did I not say that you went from egoic fixed fire Leo energy with the 5 of Wands, and with the help of the Wheel of Fortune, Jupiter energy, it elevated that fire energy, unfixed it from being stuck and just burning and burning and grinding away in the ego. I'm also hearing in maybe there was some like you had to deal with your sexual appetite, and with the Page of Fire in the throat space, and here with the Strength card, there's loyalty and delivery from those who seek to oppress brings victory in the upright. High Priestess in reverse in the heart chakra works with this strength of ego. It delivered you from those who were seeking to oppress you. bringing victory. I think these emotions that people were giving you or you were engaged with, this water energy, the high priestess, this moon energy, things unseen like 7 of air, which is the moon in Aquarius, coming from friends, coming from the collective, coming from the collective conscience as well. You've got fire here in your ego, along with the ace of wands.
Senior staff, we have a study area and a reading area over here.
All right. So I love how this is working out. So paired with the Wheel of Fortune and the 5 of Wands, we have the third eye, 10 of air, ego death, endings, recovery, and freedom. We have 9 of Wands. God, the impenetrable secret, universal medicine, exactly, when recovery, universal medicine, elevation of the soul, and the revelation of mysteries. This is Sagittarius energy. This is Jupiter energy. This is the higher fire energy that I was talking about. This is also the card of the wounded healer. And recovery has brought freedom. 9 is a number of the self. This process, you've actually healed yourself with this Sagittarius fire, this mutable fire, rather than the fixed fire of the ego. The crown is paired with, here in the 5 of air or swords, is paired with the 8 of air, and the Hierophant in the sacral, we have 8 of cups. God, the pleasure of man's children, transformation, gives consolation in adversity. 8 of Cups is moving away from this fire of 5 of air energy and this 8 of air energy. You go from 8 of air, grounding that whole process with the Hierophant, making a connection to your creator. Remember, you have them on speed dial. And yeah, you've cut out the middleman. By stepping into the 8 of air, you effectively blast away those 8 swords. And with the crown, transformation, gives consolation in adversity, replaced those swords with 8 cups of healing waters of spirit. Bottom of the deck, to match the 7 of fire, we have the sun, more fire energy. Restoration of life, protection from adversaries, rabies and wild beasts. You know, the rabies and wild beasts are, I think, connected to the ego here in the strength, and also the sexual ties that you might have burning in your loins. The sun card, Mihail, is the name of the angel. Translated means the vivifying God. The sun card is about healing an ego death experience. And specifically, here, restoration of life, it's the healing of our inner child, going through this 7 to 8 of swords. And you've done that, fam. And I'm hearing specifically, it's that feminine side of you, whether you're male or female, presenting in the 3D. It's healing that feminine part of us that is the nurturer, but specifically the inner child half of us. All right. So this philosophical quest that you were on, the questions that you asked in the 7 of Swords, and willingly, consciously, safely walked into 8 of air energy, has created an ego death here with the 10 of swords, 10 of air, which dropped you down to 9 of wands energy, universal medicine. And isn't that true? Like ego deaths are a rejuvenation, a rebirth. We want to kill off as much of our ego that does not belong, or conflicts our natural, healthy, God-given philosophies. Again, whether you're atheist or agnostic or deeply spiritual or even religious. And I would put, if you're religious, I would put you in the category of being closer to an atheist or an agnostic than somebody who's spiritual. This philosophical journey of all these questions, you answered yourself through the help of your angels, and specifically Archangel Michael here with the Page of Air. All right, I hope this gave you some confirmation. All right, I'm being called to open up the Bible randomly. Oh, I wish I had my die, and select a chapter and verse. Here, I'll go, it's 10:42 where I am. So I'm gonna go to this, and it's the second month and the first day. So I'm gonna go to the second, or the New Testament. I'm gonna go to the first book, which is the Gospel according to Matthew. And then I'm going to go to chapter 10. Are there 10 chapters? Yeah. And chapter 10, verse 4. Simon the Canaanite and Judas Iscariot, who betrayed him. Chapter 10 reads, "And he called to him his 12 disciples and gave them authority over unclean spirits, to cast them out and to heal every disease and every infirmity. The names of the 12 apostles are these: first, Simon, who is called Peter, and Andrew his brother, James the son of Zebedee, and John his brother, Philip and Bartholomew, Thomas and Matthew the tax collector, James the son of Alphaeus and Thaddeus, Simon the I can't pronounce that. And Judas Iscariot, who betrayed him." Okay. Oh, thank you, Spirit. This is why. So, this is why we were brought here. Because as an astrotheologian, I believe that all 12 houses are within us, and it's incumbent upon us to work with the angels and also wrestle with the demons in each of our houses. Each house of the zodiac, of your zodiacal chart, belongs to a house of the disciples. And here, listed in order. The first is Simon, who is called Peter, rules Aries, or the first house. Then we have James, the son of Zebedee. Okay, here we go. Simon Peter, Andrew, James, son of Zebedee, and John his brother, that would be Gemini, the twins, Philip and Bartholomew, Philip and Bartholomew. Thomas. No, Thomas is the 7th house, so I'm off here. All right, we're going to do this. Okay, so wait, Peter or Simon Peter rules the 1st house. Andrew, 2nd house. James, the 3rd house. John, the 4th house. Philip, the 5th house. Bartholomew, the 6th house. Thomas, the 7th house. Matthew, the 8th house. James, the 9th house. 10th house is Thaddeus. 11th house is Simon, the Canaan, whew, and Judas, the 12th house. Okay, so again, we've got Simon Peter rules the 1st house. Or I should say, to better understand, if you are coming from a religious background, reread the story of these disciples. And yeah. So chapter 10 reads, and he called to him his 12 disciples and gave them authority over unclean spirits. So, as I mentioned, in each of our houses, the story of these disciples for each house will give you instruction or, set an example of how to rule the respective houses. So again, we've got Simon Peter rules Aries, 1st house. Andrew, his brother, rules Taurus, 2nd house. James and his brother rule the 3rd house, because it's Gemini, the twins. Philip rules the 4th house. Bartholomew rules the 5th. No, I'm off. So don't split up James. James is the 3rd house. Peter is the 3rd house. Andrew is the 4th house. James is the 5th house. John is the 6th house. I'm off again. My goodness, these names. All right, Simon Peter rules the 1st house. Andrew, the 2nd house. James and John rule the 3rd house. Philip rules... No. James rules the 3rd house. John rules the 4th house. Philip rules the 6th house. 5th house. 6th house is Bartholomew. Thomas is the 7th house, doubting Thomas, Libra. And Matthew, the tax collector, rules the 8th house, which is Scorpio, sex, death, and other people's money, tax collector. James, the 9th house, and Thaddeus, the 10th house, with Simon, the Canaan. Okay, I think I got that right. The 11th house of Aquarius, and Judas Iscariot, who betrayed him, rules the 12th house. Okay, I hope that was clear. I don't want to have to scratch this reading. So yeah, know that in addition to each of the signs represented in the 12 houses, you have the 12 disciples, as I've clumsily read here. So learning their stories relates directly to each of your own houses. And as chapter 10 started off by describing their stories are of how they battled their own demons, because in each house you have angels who are working on your behalf, and I just heard they want you to work with them, right, when you are asking questions, because they're right there before the throne of God, and can connect you and give you the correct answers, which, this reading certainly implied. But then there are also demons in each of the houses. So Thaddeus's house, house 10, is I'm being asked to mention. Maybe in the next reading I will read up on Thaddeus's story. Because the 10th house is the first house, collective house. It represents the devil, Saturnian energy, and the 3D earth, and the structure of kind of like the matrix on the darker side of the 10th house. It's, when we elevate, when we ascend from our rising sign to the 7th house, then we start to descend. 8th house, which is Bartholomew, the tax collector, whoever the tax collector was. That's when we go in and we have that death process within our vessel, within our body, within our spirit. And then we rise using Sagittarius energy into the 9th house. That completes our 9 personal houses, or the so-called Enneagram of personality. That's what those numbers represent, are the houses. They also represent, those zodiacal signs, Aries through Sagittarius, cardinal fire through mutable fire. And then we descend again into the material world, into the matrix. That's when we learn to dance with the devil. But having ascended to 9th house energy, Jupiter energy, Wheel of Fortune energy, we and here I'm seeing the Wheel of Fortune again represented, or Jupiter represents that energy, is card number 10. When we learn to become rulers of our first 9 houses, we can dance with the devil without fear. We can break out of the matrix that is the 3D reality that we live in, because we have mastered each of the first 9 houses where angels and demons exist. All right, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but know that you have 7 of fire, Leo energy. This is also a card of challenge, yes, and resistance, but also determination. And I think here it's resisting the matrix. It's resisting this 3D reality that often gives us lots of 7 of air energy, 8 of air, and puts us into 8 of air energy. You collective have come out victorious, no doubt, with the Sun card. And we got 5 of swords twice here. Underneath the Sun card, you have 5 of swords. Desire to know, the acquisition of wisdom in the Angel Tarot. Final channeled song, Gold, featuring Yuna by Adventure Club. Only sunshine under the bright sky, only sunshine under the bright sky. When the words are like bullets, words, swords, air energy, and they break through your skin, and there's no way to get them all out, when it feels like a rush seeping into your soul, stay gold, stay gold, stay gold. Under the bright sky, only sunshine. Under the bright sky, only sunshine. Stay gold. Repeated 6 times, 6 of Pentacles. You were always searching for something out there, out of reach, couldn't stop you, couldn't hold you back. You were so real, so real. When the words are like bullets and they break through your skin and there's no way to get them all out, when it feels like a rush seeping into your soul, stay gold, stay gold, stay gold. Said twice, repeated twice. 3 is the first number of the universe that can create something. As in, mantras or affirmations. I always repeat my affirmations 3 times. Oh, and speaking of which, I thought I saw my affirmations come through. Let's read the affirmations of the day. Affirmations for today. I am playful and easily find happiness. I feel great about myself and my life. I love myself for the person I am. Sun card. I am playful and easily find happiness. I feel great about myself and my life. I love myself for the person I am. I'm playful and easily find happiness. I feel great about myself and my life. I love myself for the person I am. I am. I am presence. Aries energy. All right, I'm going to leave it here. Check out my website, entpgathering.com, if you want to book me for that 33-minute reading. Also, if you'd like to donate to the channel, thank you for all the donations that have come in. You can find that information and how to get to my website and the services that I rock in the description box. So until next time, fam, namaste.